What's going on, everybody? It's the Real Deal Dude back once again, and everybody has a few albums that define the period of their life. The period of my life that turned me into a music head was high school. That ended in 2017 for me. So, and this video is also inspired by a tweet that I seen the other night that asked, what are your 4 important albums from high school? If we keep it in the buck, I had way more than 4 to go off of. So allow me to get started with some honorable mentions first. Jay-Z, 444. This came out just shy of when I graduated high school, literally a month after in June 2017, while I was on a trip in Vegas after. Nonetheless, Hov is the greatest rapper of all time and returned with one of his best. Not only is it top 5 from his discography, it came with a lot of wisdom and lessons that were taught by the great. Loss and loss is a lesson. Appreciate the pain, it's a blessing. It's one that stuck with me since then, because a little bit before then, I kind of took a L that I'm not exactly used to, and it hurt a little bit, but this line made me realize I could just learn from. Based on a true story too, Me Time by 2 Chainz. This was an album that I was really hype on around the time that it came out, and honestly, I don't know why, because it's not like I'm the biggest 2 Chainz fan, but if you're one of the people that know me from high school and used to always see me with them Beat Studios on, that's likely what I was listening to freshman year. My favorite song was We Can Live with T-Pain. T-Pain, he was singing on that right there. That was, it's kind of underrated.
We got up on the road foot, baby.
The documentary 2 and 2.5 by The Game. The Game dropped his hardest project to date, which was a sequel to the classic, The Documentary, to me smack dab in the beginning of my junior year, and man, it made me want to go to the West Coast so bad. This was just something I love to work out to. I love to bump it in my car all the time. My favorite album was 2.5. It was a 2-disc. It was Magnus Carlsen with Anderson .Paak. It was like the very first song, and it had a Stevie Wonder sample. I used to run it back. I was like, man, that was smooth. I love how Game was rapping on there.
ISIS throwing grenades, what's happening?
So shout out to Game for that. Really appreciate it. He's one of my favorite rappers. Dirty Sprite 2 by Future Henry. Okay, so look, I have a quick confession to make. I did not like Dirty Sprite 2 when I first heard it. I think this might be because I just came from Hurricane Harbor in Texas, Six Flags Water Park. Well, I was staying in Texas for a little part of the summer, and I had a headache. So I swear that it was the album that gave it to me, but I don't think so anymore. I made some poor drink decisions that day, so I know that. But after I gave it another chance, this turned me into a very big Future fan. Every single song on Dirty Sprite 2 is a slap. There's so many quotables on there. Look, the first line is, dirty soda, spike me, white girl, iced tea, fully loaded AP.
I just fuck your bitch, that's some Gucci flip-flops.
Come on, dog. How you open an album like that? Bro. And then he had Real Sisters on there, Trap Niggas, he had Percocet, Stripper Joint, Rich Sex, dog, that album is, Stick Talk too, man, that album is, DS2 is his magnum opus, man, I think it is. I don't know if it'll ever top it, I hope he will, but if you went to a party when this came out too, he used to slap so hard. Now to get in a little bit of R&B, Trigger Reloaded Edition by Trey Songz. Trey Songz is personally, to me, in my top 5 of R&B dudes of all time, if we keep it a buck. He's too consistent, okay? This album Trigger used to slap my beats during my downtime, some classes. You know, I just want to focus on work, you feel me? He had Foreign on there, About You, What's Best For You, Smartphones, Cake. I could go on some of the joints that I like from that album. He even said it's his hardest album himself. I don't agree. I still think it's Trey Day, but whatever he says. Already. I'll even give Tremaine the album a nod too, because that came out 2 years later, my senior year, and I was slapping that too. I was definitely slapping that. He had joints in there like Number One Fan.
I don't wanna speak too much. I don't wanna breathe the wrong way.
Nobody Else But You, The Sheet Still. Yeah, hopefully bro drop his next one soon, because I heard some stuff and it sounded really good. And for my final honorable mentions, I'm going with Rather You Than Me by Rick Ross and More Life by Drake, because they literally released a day apart. Rather You Than Me is, in my opinion, Rose's best album, The production is so luxurious in it, and I feel like it's the most introspective we've ever heard Rick Ross go in on. If you want to feel like success, go ahead and put that on. The song Lamborghini Doors of Meek Mill and Anthony Hamilton.
Dreaming of things we can't afford, but now we coming up like them Lamborghini doors, ooh.
Now for More Life, the whole album, playlist, whatever Drake wanted to call it at the time, that was a vibe to me right there. That was a vibe. Some people say it's not good, but I disagree. Passion Fruit, Teenage Fever, Do Not Disturb, Lose You, Sacrifices. You heard that verse from Young Thug? That's when I really started liking Young Thug. Those are my favorites on there. Honestly, some of his most underrated songs, like Lose You. I remember LeBron James tweeted the lyrics out to that, like 2 months before it came out, so he had to pick it out. Do Not Disturb with the Snow Allegra sample, which I put on too in the last year. Love Snow Allegra. Check her last album out.
Steady doing double shifts. Want to do the beat and I open up like a double click.
So for my last 5 albums, I'm gonna start with the one that had me feeling like I needed to go and stop police brutality my damn self. To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. Y'all may not remember, but this was actually a surprise album by Kendrick Lamar. It was supposed to release a day later than it initially did, but it had leaked the day before. But when I first listened to Pimp a Butterfly, I think I knew that this was gonna be an instant classic. It's a powerful piece of art and a concept album that's personal to Kendrick Lamar, because it ends with him, conversing with Tupac, his idol. My favorite song on there is The Blackberry. And I remember a lot of people was mad, like, Kendrick, you ain't rapping on here like you usually do. You ain't go hard. This wasn't the album for that. Damn, that came out 2 years later was an album for that, and he did.
I'm the biggest hypocrite in 2015. Once I finish this, witnesses will contagious what I mean.
Speaking of surprise album, the next album I have on here is simply titled Beyonce. Yep, that's the one that wasn't on the thumbnail. Beyonce literally shook up the whole entire industry when she dropped this due to the fact that she had literally no promotion whatsoever. She just put it on iTunes. And apparently it got finished a week before, so she just said, here, just give this to y'all. Y'all gonna find out. Y'all gonna go crazy. And it was also amazing at that. She had classics like Drunken Love with Jig on there. My personal favorite, Mine with Drake, which was nice to hear Drake and Beyonce do a song. Partition, that was a big hit. Rocket, it's a classic. That album is a classic. Point blank period. This came out one of the harshest December winters I've ever endured as well. This is my freshman year, and we had an ice storm. So they called school early, and she dropped this album around that time, so it got a lot of play.
Come right now, you know where I stay. I just wanna say you're mine, you're mine.
On to someone who announced their album 3 months ahead of time, The Weeknd Starboy. This is the one that turned me into a very huge fan of this dude. I remember it came out on Black Friday, Thanksgiving break at that. I remember it was raining hard as shit, and my folks had me going shopping for them. So this album accompanied that whole adventure I had. See, this is what I like about this idea, because these albums, like good music, they take you back in time to like a period, a moment in your life that you remember. And you remember hearing like stuff for the first time, you'll always remember it. My favorite songs were Party Monster, Reminder, True Colors, Stargirl Interlude with Lana Del Rey, Sidewalks with Kendrick Lamar, On Lonely Night. I forgot the one with Future on there. All I Know, Die For You, and I Feel It Coming with Daft Punk.
I feel it coming. I feel it coming, babe.
If you watch my After Hours review, you know that's my dad. I'm just leaving it at that. Next is what I consider Drake's best album, and something that really stuck with me throughout the entirety of high school. This album came out the exact same month I entered high school as a freshman, and I think that is mainly why it sticks with me so much. It was what I was listening to very heavily along with everyone else, and it had an iconic cover, Drake in the Clouds, and iconic songs to add to that. This man started with his greatest song, Tuscan Leather.
Coming off the last record, I'm getting 20 million off the record just to off these records, nigga, that's a record.
Like, bro, how you just gonna start sampling Whitney Houston 3 times and go in on every single verse? Like, dog. He also had From Time with Janae Aiko on there, Furthest Thing, Wu-Tang Forever, Too Much, Pound Cake with Hove, All Me, etc. I feel like this just defined a lot of shit for me in that later half of that year, and you know, I kept it rolling. Hopefully he'll top it with his 6th album that's coming. And for last but certainly not least, to me personally is my favorite album of all time, Bruno Mars' 24 Karat Magic. The thing is, I was not even anticipating this album at all. Not at all. I was going to listen to it, but just not as much as others at the time. Like other albums that were coming. I was waiting on Weekend. I clicked on Spotify the morning it was out, and I was taken on a ride for 9 absolutely perfect songs for what I think is a perfect album. Other than Thriller, the other perfect album I've listened. He took it back to the New Jack Swing days, like Bobby Brown, New Edition and them, and he modernized it. He gave you pop anthems, a little bit of funk, a perm, and a few beautiful R&B cuts. This album will always boost my mood whenever I put it on. It makes me feel good regardless of what's going on, and that's why I love it. I want to dance to Finesse. Before Cardi B got on there, which I'm happy she did, because that song had to get popular. And then I might sing my heart out on my favorite, Calling on My Loved Ones. This was my theme music for that first little bit of my senior year before the year turned. It even applied to some moments of me experiencing deep feelings for the very first time in my life. So yeah, it's that significant. I even put my parents on to it, and they loved it as well. And when he toured in Miami, I went with them to that concert, and Bruno sounded better than that album live. It was that crazy. So shout out to Bruno. I hope he drops again soon. It's been almost 4 years, and with the way 2020 been going, I think everybody could use another album like this. Not exactly like this, but just as good, if not better. So yeah, those are the most important albums to me from high school. If you enjoyed this video, let me know what were your top 5 from your time in high school, or if you maybe are still in there, which is probably really hard given that we're still in the pandemic. Also, go ahead and give the video a like, hit the subscribe button, turn on notification button so YouTube will snitch on me whenever I upload. Until next time though, peace.